Hey everybody, blessed be and welcome. It's me, Luna, the Zen Witch, here on Wednesday night for some readings for you guys. I see I've got a few people in here with me. Say hello. Welcome to all of you. I'm so glad that you chose to hang out with me on a Thursday night. I think that's fucking awesome, to tell you the truth. It's been an interesting day and night, and I think in addition to the full moon yesterday, my migraine was a harbinger of the big low pressure centers that came through. We had tornado warnings like all around us. Our sirens were going off, but they were radar tornadoes. There was rotation in radar, but I haven't heard yet that there have been any reports of sightings. Then again, I haven't been on social media or anything, but it was pretty still. We didn't have any high winds. We didn't have any hail, except just when I was getting set up, where it's nice and black in the woods now, I heard the whoosh of something coming down. So if you see me suddenly do the deer in the headlights look and then yeet it off camera, there might be a big crash coming. So fingers crossed, because now it's getting rather windy out there. It sounds wonderful. So I hope you are well. I hope you are relaxed and ready to have some entertainment. Hi, Stephanie. So good to see you, dear. Check in, say hi. Let us know who you are. I already did our bell to bring us into ourselves. And now I would like to give you a little smoke cleanse. So let's take me back a little bit. Get out your sage if you've got it. Fire up your censer. That'll do. And I offer you this sage and this sacred smoke, that you may be purified by air and charged by fire. Air wakes up the mind, fire opens the eyes and opens the vision. And by this salt water, the wind is blowing really hard out there. So much energy. If you saw my video about the full moon chart, so much energy, potent. When you've got Pluto at the apex of a T-square, Sun, Mars on one end, Moon on the other, hoo-wee baby. So I offer you this salt water. Be blessed by water, and by earth be made whole. So mote it be. The bell called in spirit, of course. But we are going to call in spirit by asking our allies and ancestors, guides and guardians, to please come to the fore. We know you're here with us always. We ask now that you join with us and step close, step closely, and talk to us. Help. Ask your individual guides. Actually, just trust your individual guides. You don't have to ask them. All you have to say is, come on in. I mean, it does help when you give the invitation. Hello, Samantha. Hello, Patricia. Hello, Natalie. Hi. Welcome to you all. But trust your guides to hear the messages that my guides are giving me, and to allow you to hear the message that is directly for you. So I would hazard to say that group readings like this, readings by sign, are probably the least favorite readings that readers do, because it really is a hit or miss. Some it's going to resonate for, others it's not, because it is impossible to do a reading that is for all Aries suns. It's just impossible. So they're difficult to do. So your part is to just really open your mind, pay special attention to the readings that are for your sun, your ascendant and your moon signs, your big three. But just keep your ears and your mind open to whatever message comes through that resonates for you. Sometimes you're hearing things and it's like, yeah, yeah, whatever. And then you hear one, it's like, oh my God, that's for me. So if you do that, disregard what the sign is if it doesn't match your big three. All right. And remember that we're here to hang out together. We're here to commune with spirit and each other and have some fun, I hope. And I have this fabulous smoothie. My daughter's here. Hello, Laura. Welcome, honey. She ordered us smoothies, and that one is strawberry, banana, pineapple with a B12 kicker. Yummy, yummy, yummy. I suck them down so fast, and I haven't had one in a long, long time. So that's waking up my mind. And then, so back to our guides and guardians. We thank you for being here. We trust the messages that you bring through. I especially asked mine to just support me in putting out what comes to my mind without filtering or trying to make sense of it before it comes through. I thank you for that, and we offer you fresh water and the fire of Azrael. And of course, we offer you our love, always. Let's charge our decks, and then we'll do our Astrodice. This deck is the Dark Goddess Oracle. And this is the Halloween Tarot. So small. The cards are so small, but it's fun. It's like a Hanson Roberts size deck. So we'll see how these do together. All right. And I have lots of crumbs in this dish. This is a dish that my friend Tavia sent me in a package. And it's just a wonderful little wooden disc to have an orb on, but I love it for my Astrodice. But I had my black tourmaline and this, my record keeper crystal, with me last night. I was watching TV, and my right hand was on the tourmaline, so I could just send out, drain off stuff, drain off some energy that I didn't need. And then this was pointing into my left-hand chakra to bring in a charge. And as I was holding this, things were crumbling off, like a whole little chunk of it just crumbled off. So I caught the pieces, and I don't know what I'll use those for, elixirs or something. But let's go to the Astrodice. Tell me how you guys are doing. Tell me how your full moon was. Thank you for the likes. Thank you so much. All right. What planetary energy do we need to focus on this week? What area of our lives, and how do we go about things? All right, we have Pluto in Libra in the 8th. Well, Pluto in the 8th is in its natural home. It's in its natural house. Wait, symmetry, you guys can't see, but I have a nice line that comes down from my central part, my box, the center box. Let's see, can I do that? No, I can't. Anyway, it's a nice line that goes down the middle, so I can tell exactly where the middle of the screen is, so I can line things up. Yes, I like symmetry. Anyway, Pluto in Libra in the 8th. So Pluto is transformative energy. Pluto rules the inevitable. Sex, death, and taxes. Well, the only thing that's really inevitable about that is death. Yeah. So great for coming up on Samhain to have Pluto energy coming in this week. Pluto does not give us a choice. I always tell people that with Saturn, the Lord of Karma, you get a choice. You can pay the piper or you can delay it. You know, both of those things are ruled by Saturn. And then it just cycles around again and gets a little bit stronger the next time. And then, hi, Lisa. Welcome, my dear. But with Pluto, the only choice you get is willingly or kicking and screaming. So, and we usually choose kicking and screaming. It's our nature. So, you know, nothing against you if you choose that. because it rules the big, big, big things, like the biggest lessons of all. I mean, death is our final transition. And I think that it has to rule birth as well, because it is that initiatory process, that change of state from one thing to another. That change of state from someone who's confused or someone who doesn't understand a particular thing to someone who has experienced and now gets it, and you can never take that away from me, right? That's the transition with Pluto. It's a transformation from inside out. It's Phoenix energy. So this is what we're moving into Samhain with. This is the proper business of Samhain time and the proper energy. So think this week about, all right, approach it like there's a big funeral coming up, okay? And it's yours. At least it's part of yours. That there's something that is ready to be integrated into you and then released. There's something that needs to be grieved to the point where you really take in the experience, take in whatever lessons come with that you perceive, and then heal it. Take it healing. You know, grief is a healing process. So look at what is ripe right now. This is the harvest as well. What is ripe and ready to harvest? And when you harvest the wheat, do we take it all? No. They, thresh the wheat and get the grains out of the stalks. The stalks then go and get bundled and used for something else. But what we eat is only the grains. So, uh-oh. So when we harvest, we know that part of that harvest nourishes us. Part of it is the structure that it's time to let go of. I talk about this so many times. The structure is the story of your trauma, the story of your victimhood, the story of your childhood, of this phase of your adulthood. Whatever it is ripe and ready to transform. So looking at it this week, separating that wheat from the chaff, what is it that is ready to be integrated? It might not be ready quite yet, which is not Samhain yet, right? But what is cooking underground and ready to be finally integrated? Start looking into that this week. Libra, the energies of how we go about things. Cardinal, in the now, like that T-square with Pluto, Sun, Mars, Moon. It was a cardinal T-square, reactive. Cardinal is now, now, now. So how do we go about things this week? We show up in the moment and take care of what's there. Take care of it now. Don't kick it down the road. All right. And then air is in the intellect, in communication, in the realm of information, in the realm of our mental processes. So this week with glory, hallelujah, Mercury direct and Jupiter direct. Woo, baby. Happy dance. Happy dance, happy dance. Ah, what a relief. What a relief. But now it's like, okay, you're looking around and seeing the detritus and what needs to be cleaned up from that retrograde. So look at, just start looking down underneath the surface. What is it now that's going to be easier for you to access and, get a concept of. But with Libra, it's really having an intellectual grasp of what's going on and approaching things in the now. And the 8th house echoes that Pluto. Pluto in the 8th is magic. The art of changing consciousness at will. The ability to take trash and turn it into treasure. So this is not about, this always had a purpose. This trauma that I went through always had a purpose, and the purpose is this. No. This trauma had no purpose. And because I am who I am, I have learned this. I have examined this and learned this lesson from it. All right. So 8th house is about your relationship with death, really. So this is another thing we confront at the Samhain time of year. What is your relationship with death? How has it changed over the last year? How has it been present in your life over the last year. Samhain time is time to think of the ancestors and think of the people that we have lost since last Samhain. So that's another thing we think about. And we think about letting them go, letting them go to death, into that place where we say we'll never see them again, But as a pagan, there's a wonderful line of litany that says, and we shall see and know and love them once again. That you will see the essence of these people, whatever survives beyond, you will meet those energies again and recognize and love again. So and that's a wonderful thing with Libra, is those partnerships coming together again beyond the veil. So even while you're here in a body and everybody, your ancestors are not in a body anymore, this Libra in the middle talks about communicating beyond death, communicating beyond the grave, having a talk with them in your head and in your heart and listening to what they tell you, setting up your ancestor altar and feeding them. When I was taking tea ceremony, every time I'd get really clumsy about things, my sensei would say, you got to feed your ancestors. You're not feeding your ancestors. And you would literally leave an offering out for your ancestors. So that works. All right. So that went on a journey, didn't it? And here I was thinking I didn't have anything to talk about tonight. All right. We're going to take one from the Dark Goddesses to look at what in particular we're looking at, and then we will take tarot on either side to define that for us. Hello, Sherry. Hello, Marcy. Welcome, everybody. I'm so happy to see you here. Okay. So we are, hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Okay. No. Sun doesn't go into Scorpio till tomorrow, so we have one more week of Libra going first. All right, Libras. I'm going to shuffle again, thinking Libra this time. The overarching question for all of us, of course, is what do we need to do to take care of ourselves in the best way possible this week so that we can present our best selves to the world? What do we need to know this week? Okay, Libra, appearance, Medusa. So appearances, Libra. This week we look at how invested we are in appearances. How much do you trust the way things appear? This is split in two places, so we're taking those. All right. Four of Imps and King of Bats. The Imps are wands, the Bats are swords. Okay. So yeah, this is talking about relationship. It doesn't necessarily have to be a romantic relationship, but it's a long-term one. With the Four of Wands being kind of the marriage card, we're looking at something that's committed or at least long-term. In a job, you can be in a long-term relationship with someone. You're not really committed to them, but you're in a position where you've been together for long-term. So that's how I'm defining this. Look at how appearances are affecting the way a relationship is working out, because there's some serious judgment going on here. That's what King of Bats is saying. We need to look at how, interesting. Okay, it's looking here at how we work together to create appearances and how we agree on what's proper and what's not proper, what's appropriate, what's desirable and what's not desirable. And then we slap judgments on these things. So just looking at how we collaborate with people in upholding appearances. There are several levels that are coming out here. This is talking about collaborating to maybe create an illusion. Appearance says it's the way something appears to be, but maybe isn't. So, and the Four of Imps talks about collaborative, creative co-creation. So how are we co-creating with someone to uphold an appearance? And but there's judgment here, okay? That uphold appearances that include judgments in them. Okay? How are we being judgy of other people and how they choose to appear? And how are we colluding in keeping up appearances that are discriminatory? Appearances and practices that aren't fair for people. So this is your wheelhouse, Libra. Just looking at... okay, so what do we do here? What do we do here? It's time to create something new. The King of Bats can also, King of Swords can also talk about really seeing into something. Clear perception and just incisive mind. So it's saying let's take a deep look into appearances here. Go beyond the appearances and look at maybe how we can go beyond judgment and collaborate with someone who maybe by their appearance is inviting judgment from us. That's the most cohesive one that's come out so far. At any rate, time to really look at judgment and look at, those social agreements, everything that's around appearance and how and what is expected, what we expect of people, how we want them to appear, how we expect them to appear. Okay? So, I don't know if that really landed anywhere. It's going to be an interesting night because I have low pressure head right now. Scorpio. Obsession. Of course that's your card, Scorpio. So, Scorpio, what do we have to know around the subject of obsession this week? Well, we've got the Magician. Why am I shuffling still? And King of Bats again. Okay, thematic card right off the rip here. Smoothie. I'm getting to the bottom. Then what will I do? Okay. So, this is talking about those ideas that just will not leave you alone. I quote this so many times, but the movie Babe, when Farmer Hoggett, it's one of my very, very favorite movies in the entire world. I haven't watched it in decades, but Farmer Hoggett, the narrator is talking about him and says that he understood that those ideas, those little ideas that tickled and nagged, and wouldn't let you go, contained the seeds of destiny. So, Scorpio, what is it? And this is Chang'e. She's a Chinese goddess of obsession. There's a moon there. So, what is it that you can't let go of? Because the Magician says it's time to do something about this. It's time to create something from it. It's time to bring something forth from it. And the King of Bats here has big ideas about what to do with stuff. So for, another layer of Samhain activity is to look at those things that we're kind of scorpionic about, that we're Plutonian about, that we're obsessing about, that you can't get out of your mind. I have that with Pluto conjuncting Mercury in Virgo. Boy, do I analyze the shit out of something, and boy, do I get obsessive thoughts. I have songs that will stay in my head for literally weeks, and it'll only be, this much, just this much of this song from here to here just keeps looping and looping and repeating and repeating. I will wake up in the middle of the night, it's playing. Those kind of obsessive thoughts that it's not me focusing on it, they just kind of get stuck. But then there are the things that I just get super fixated on. You know, Pluto can be obsession, intensity. Mercury is how your mind works. Put them in conjunction in Virgo and pick, you know. But there are some things like, if I really like something, I have to consume it, kind of like Lord of the Rings. We have a Lord of the Rings Trivial Pursuit game. Nobody can play it with me because I know all the things. And, you know, I sat and copied out like all the Elvish when the movies came out so I could learn to say the Elvish lines. Stuff like that. Obsessions. But these are things that can motivate us when maybe we're in the doldrums. So, Scorpio, take a look at what is really kind of pressing itself on your mind. The Magician says it's time to get the tools in your hand and decide what you want to do about it. All right? The Magician is make some magic. And the King of Bats just says be very clear, crystal clear, on what it is you're trying to manifest and what it is you're doing. Okay? All right. Sagittarius. Abuse. Uh-oh. Run. Abuse. No King of Bats this time. But, ooh, Knight of Imps, and it came out upside down. We're going to turn it. So the Knight of Wands and the Tower. Okay. All right, Sagittarius. There's something big here. I mean, all of these messages so far are rather intense. They're definitely scorpionic and Samhain in nature. Don't know if that's a word, but I just used it, so it must be. I'm looking at abuse and the Tower. Hold on. And the Knight of Wands just talks about getting somewhere. It's absolutely being on the way, on the road, doing the work absolutely actively. So it's time to move somewhere, time to be on the move. And the Tower says it's time for something to fall, time for something to crumble. Something is outworn, outgrown, restrictive, too tight. It's time to move. And interestingly, the Knight of Wands, when I do just regular old readings, says to me a change of residence, number one, or change within the residence, number two, somebody moving in, somebody moving out, number three, traveling somewhere. So he really talks about moving. And look at the Tower here. It's kind of like the Addams Family house or the Munsters house, you know. So it's like literally moving away from this house of abuse. So looking at trauma, looking at the role of abuse in your life. You know, we've all suffered it. And the first thing is to understand what constitutes abuse, because it doesn't take marks, you know, marks and blood to be abuse. So being very clear about what constitutes abuse so that you can say, I'm not going there anymore. Not going there anymore. I'm moving out of that house. I don't live there anymore. Okay? This can also talk about the nature of your woundedness coming to a transformative point. Maybe transforming from a sense of victimhood into a more of a recovery mode, a healing mode, a forgiving mode. Maybe it's time for something to sort of change phase from one place to another because of new understanding. But the Tower certainly says something shaken and something falls this week. This card in the center is also always calling us to recognize our own behavior. And a lot of behaviors we learned at the knee of trauma. You know, trauma taught us to behave certain ways to survive. Or trauma taught us that this is how people behave because this is how our abusers behaved. So it's really important to look at your own behaviors and start to separate healthy behavior from behaviors that were trained into you by trauma, and understanding that you doing those behaviors is abusive as well, you know, even though you never intend, but this is what trauma does to us. It sets things up. It teaches us things that aren't true. So that's a big one, Sag, this week. It's not your usual happy-go-lucky self. Hey, Sag, welcome to Samhain, right? So that's the nature of what's getting ready to be transformed for you this Samhain time, Sag. And there is kind of a theme here, looking at what needs to be transformed at this Samhain time, Capricorn. Destruction, Kalima, woo! All right, Capricorn. Why are these cards being really weird? Hold on a second. All right. A couple that were sticking to each other in a weird way. All right, Capricorn. Okay. We have Justice and Seven of Ghosts, which is Seven of Cups. So, destruction. All right. Here's your topic for the week, Capricorn. Destruction. What role this is playing in your life right now, what has been destroyed in your life, what needs destroying in your life, what's been destroyed by your choice, what's been destroyed not by your choice. Just looking at that topic of, and it is loss, you know, but it's an emotionally violent loss. You know, destruction is like, you say, you know, oh, something faded away. It's different than something was destroyed, you know. So, and Kali is boy, she is the badass of all badasses. I would like to read a little bit on her. The bottom of the cup. All right. And I look. All righty. Destruction, chaos, oh so near. Don't let change instill a fear. Stand strong and watch the old decay. A new dawn welcomes you. Hooray! By the power of the dark goddess in me, protection in place, blessed be. All right. Archetypal destroyer. All right, let's see. She stands for turmoil, upheaval, disorder, and confusion have been your companions for a while. Don't be alarmed when Kali the Destroyer enters your life, for she's appeared for a good reason. Something's about to end for you, and as you look through the eyes of Kali, the illusory, self-centered view of your reality adjusts, for she brings death to the ego. Okay, so, I mean, this is the Dark Goddesses deck, so we have a repeating theme here. But for you, Capricorn, it really is about just, you know, what it's time to just, kind of like the Tower with Sagittarius, what is it time to just let go of, just lay waste to it. Time to be gone. Time to just fucking destroy this old notion of who I am. Time to destroy the false hope I've been clinging to, that things are going to go back to whatever way that they have, you know, irretrievably left behind. Justice on one side says this restores the balance. Seven of Ghosts says it all depends on how you look at things. There are many different ways to look at a destructive act. And destruction is not always a bad thing. You know, when we use the word destruction as far as like a wildfire, a naturally occurring wildfire. We talk about the destruction of forests and we're like, oh, and the destruction of homes. Oh, but you know what? That destruction is a force of nature that allows some plants seeds to germinate that they wouldn't otherwise. They require that heat. They have grown in relationship to each other because those kind of fires just happen in those places, you know? And so these plants learn how to survive those things, and to the point where they need that destruction. So destruction is in the eye of the beholder. And the Seven of Ghosts says, you know, is it really destruction you're looking at, or is it just a wiping clean of the slate in order to bring back balance? So Capricorn, really look at, you know, think about what you're looking at and see how you can look at things in a different way, how you can reframe the idea of something in your life being destroyed, and think about what needs to happen in order to right the scales, to bring the balance back for you. And it might allow you to step back and just say, yeah, go ahead, let it fall. You know, destruction is a good thing when things are old and outworn and toxic, right? Okay. Wow, sure wasn't expecting like these heavy messages tonight. And are we still... No, we're in Taurus. Moon's in Taurus tonight, so, you know, it should be nice and calm and happy and getting these deep, deep messages. But it is Samhain time. Yes, it is. And we see the evidence of that. All right. Aquarius. Desperation, Sheila Nahig. It's so funny, these cards, you can tell that it's young women that were the models, and then they put old faces on them and tried to make them look old, and it didn't really work. Okay, there's one. Strength. I think everybody's gotten a major so far, haven't they? Strength in the Tower. Whoa, baby. All right. Okay, Aquarius, you might find yourself feeling a little bit desperate over something that you feel like is crashing and burning here. But the Strength card says, hang in there, love yourself, keep yourself calm, and all will be well. So this week, Aquarius, I want you to look at that subject of desperation. When have you experienced it? What does it feel like in your life? What are the circumstances that cause you to become desperate? And have those things changed over your life? You know, when we were young, particularly if you've been, you know, traumatized in your youth, desperation can happen easily. You know, desperation can happen when we're dropped off at kindergarten for the first time. Oh no! I remember when I went, when I was in 4th grade, there was a kindergarten room across the hall from us, and this mom was dropping off her little boy, and he was crying. And she was saying, okay, well, I'll sit with you for a couple of minutes. Okay, okay, okay. And she'd say, okay, I have to go now. And he'd go, oh no! And start crying. So she'd sit with him again, and it happened 2 or 3 times, but it was just the, oh no! And it's like, okay, that's desperation for that little boy. And in some of maybe our first relationships where we were deeply in lust with someone or deeply in crush with someone, whether we knew that person or not, sometimes it was a pop star, you know, and we would have that desperate, I have to marry him, you know, that insane desperation. And then as we grow through adulthood and we learn how to care for ourselves and we learn how to negotiate life and navigate life and all the things we have to do to keep body and soul together as adults, desperation becomes quite a different thing. So that's the topic that you're looking at this week, Aquarius, and looking at, you know, what you might be feeling a little desperation about, and then reminding yourself that you are an adult, that you have skills. Even if you haven't met this particular challenge as an adult yet, you have skills, you have strength. And one of the biggest strengths that you have is being in command of your mind and being in command of how you're going to be in the moment And the Strength card says, I'm going to be calm. I'm going to be in control of this. And I am going to be so confident in myself that all the beings around me are going to calm down too. Because they are going to feel my calm confidence and go, oh man, that person knows what they're doing. She's got it together. I can calm down now too. All right. So really looking at how you handle yourself when you're feeling kind of those desperate moments. And there's certainly something here. I'm looking at how she's looking over at the tower. There's certainly something here that is breaking apart and falling down and changing. But it's changing, you know, like a clap of thunder and like something crumbling. But knowing, I want you to look towards your strength and that ability to nurture yourself, keep yourself calm and in control of yourself, which then calms other things down around you, calms down that sense of desperation. All right. Not much convo going on tonight, guys. Is everybody pooped? All right, Pisces. Equality, Lilith. Ooh. Okay, Pisces. King of Bats again. Third time. And the Emperor. Uh-oh. All right. So both these guys on the sides tell me that the issue of equality here for you, Pisces, is about you feeling less than. So the thing that's showing up to be transformed for you this week approaching Samhain is just this sense of you being less than, an inferior, a flawed human being that just doesn't deserve to take up space like everybody else, okay? This is the low self-esteem monster. So, what does equality mean to you, Pisces? And who deserves equal treatment? What do we all deserve? Do you deserve less than somebody? King of Bats says you've been extremely judgy, and the Emperor says that there are circumstances around you where it's kind of coming from the outside as well. This can be systemic, you know, because we've got the King of Bats and just this Emperor is judgmental energy. And boy, so is King of Bats. King of Swords is the card that I call the bastard, the motherfucker, because it's that rigid, judgmental mindset, set in stone mind. So looking at how you're being treated in your life, Pisces, and first of all, check your belief system. Do you believe that you deserve what everybody else does? Do you believe that we are truly equal in our capacity to you know, be enlightened in our value in the universal system? Because it sounds like there's some patriarchal stuff that's really gotten under your skin here, and now you're carrying on that judgment. So time to check out how you talk to yourself, Pisces. That is your job this week. I want you to listen to how you talk to yourself, and then ask yourself if you would talk that way to anybody that you love. Laura. So yeah, I have a ghost earring on this side, and I have my black cat on this side. I had both ghosts in, but then one of the black cats just like spontaneously fell off my earring tree. So of course I had to put him on. But yeah, I got that little ghosty. Hee hee. So yeah, Pisces, how do you talk to yourself? Do you talk to yourself in a loving voice? Do you talk to yourself fairly? Kindly? Do you talk to yourself like you have an equal place in this world? You know, you are equally deserving of care and love as everybody else? If you don't, it's time to address that, Pisces, for sure. Because, and you know, when we have messages coming at us from our family of origin in particular, those things can get in. The tone of voice itself can get in from pre-verbal times. Just the vibe of the sound of the voices. And we can pick that up, and it's a hell of a difficult thing to hear yourself until you hear yourself on tape. It's like, you think you look one way and then you see a picture of yourself and go, oh my God. Same thing with your voice on tape. I mean, your voice sounds different because we're hearing it from inside our heads, as well as we hear what comes out, but we're also hearing it resonating inside our own skulls. But to hear the tone of our voice and how kind or mean we're sounding when we talk, strident, judgmental, sarcastic, we can have all these nuances of tone when we speak that we're not aware of until somebody catches us unawares and we really hear how we sound to others. Well, I also want you to check out how you sound in your head and just try to bring that into consciousness and come from the assumption of equality this week, that you are equally deserving of your own kindness as all of the underdogs that you so love to champion. Okay? All right. Gizmo. Yeah, when I do, and haven't done it for the last couple of years, of course, but the Kent Stage in my little town is our wonderful music venue downtown, and Tom Simpson and Rochelle Charlton that own the place and run the place have done amazing things with it, and their concerts are back now. I'm so glad, but they do the Ghost Walk every year, and I've been involved for many years. And she always gives us wonderful little things, and this was one of them one year, these little ghost earrings. I think that might have been last year. I have a little ghost candle one year. I've got socks. She just gives us really great stuff as thank yous. Okay, Aries. Redemption. Maman Brigitte. I have not been saying the goddesses' names for most of these, I realize. Okay, Aries, on the subject of redemption. Ooh. Five of Ghosts and the Death card. All right, give me a second here. Okay, so what we're looking for here, Aries, is... All right, hold on, I just lost it. All right. What we're working on here is regret. Redemption comes through the death of regret. Because we can redeem ourselves as far as, our actions and ending of a situation or whatever. But as long as we're carrying regrets over it, we still carry the load. We're still stuck in a situation. Regret. Hello, Deborah. Yes, I'm so glad you're here. Okay, so when we are harboring regret over a situation, and I know I've talked about this many times as well, but I think it's important. I mean, it's been very important to me. Regret says that I don't like the way things happened. I wish something had happened differently. Well, first of all, it didn't. So time to just accept the way things happened. The next thing is, the thing that you're regretting, was it something you had control over? And if you did have control over it, hold on. We can't be out already, can we? There we go. There we go. I need a good smell. All right. So, is this something you had control of? Did you have control of it 100%? What part of it did you have control of? And did you do your best at the time with what you had, with what you knew? Did you do your best? And if you didn't, then maybe we look at redemption coming through apologies, making amends. You know, sometimes we can't amend something. The chance is gone. The moment is gone. We can't go back, you know. And sometimes we can make amends. Sometimes we can make something right. And that is how we redeem it. But looking at here, and death is on this side too. So I think that we might also be dealing with things that we didn't get to say or do for someone that's already passed, or maybe something that we did say or do that we're regretting. So it is time, Aries, for you to grapple with those kinds of regrets. And the big question is, where is my control now? You know, do I have the ability to make amends? Do I have the ability to put things right? If not, and, you know, it might be an if not, that you can't do it because you don't have a relationship with the person, because it would be more intrusive and damaging to connect with them. You know, there are situations like that. But looking at what do you need to do in order to redeem the situation so that you can let go of the regret, so that you can say, and you know what that really means at the bedrock? Can you forgive yourself? How do you forgive yourself for something, the ghost of which is hanging around emotionally, and it needs to be dead and gone? All right, so how can you let yourself off the hook here, Aries, in a real way? By examining, can I make amends? And if you can, do it. That's the biggest redeemer of regret in the entire world, is making it right. But if you can't, then look at what I can do. And sometimes the very last thing is, I just need to forgive myself. I regret that it could not have been otherwise. I forgive myself so that I can move on. All right, and that's redemption. So that's your big heavy thing this week, Aries. Like I said, we're getting a lesson from the Dark Goddesses deck here. So this year, the stage is doing the haunted theater, huh? I saw a couple things. All right, Taurus. Curiosity. Pandora. Oof. Pandora. But instead of Pandora, okay, interesting, because the first thing I took out, we got a couple double majors here. First thing I came out was Hanged Man, because it's like I'm looking at Pandora, and of course the story of Pandora is that curiosity is a bad thing. No, don't do, you know, and somebody tells you don't look. But I was about to say, but you know, the other side of that, and the Hanged Man came out saying, look at it a different way. So the different way, you know, the expression, of course, curiosity killed the cat. That's not the whole expression. The rest of it is, but satisfaction brought him back. So it's saying when you're curious about something, as long as you're not like seriously bashing boundaries and intruding in somebody's private life, but when you're curious about something, curiosity is kind of a divine thing. It opens the mind to new information. When you lose all your curiosity, you're not thinking anymore. Think about some of our conservative political friends. And how they just want things to be same old, and the way it used to be. I think at a very deep fundamental level, a lot of them suffer just from a profound lack of imagination. And a lack of imagination, I think, goes hand in hand with a lack of curiosity. That if you're not curious about things, it kind of implies that I think I already know everything I need to know. I don't need to know. I don't want to know. It's closed-mindedness. So Taurus, curiosity is your topic of the week. And looking at it in the way of it's something that can inspire your life Rather than looking at it from the perspective of Pandora, that can unleash a million demons, you know. Don't ask. Don't ask. I mean, so, this is one of the lessons I learned when I was doing readings at Ren fairs. And that was when somebody would come and get a reading and it resonated for them incredibly, and then the next thing they're dragging somebody back and this person is just like digging ruts in the ground. No, I don't want it. No, you have to have a reading. It's great. And they have a terrible reading because they don't want to know. So I learned, do not do readings for people that don't want to know. If they don't walk there on their own 2 feet and go, yes, I would like information, they don't want the information. I could have been putting out fabulous information, but their gate was closed and locked. So curiosity is a good thing. Look at it from a different perspective, Taurus. And the Hierophant on that side, let's see here. Okay, curious enough to really study something. The Hierophant here talks about structures, you know, dogma even, but the structure of something. So for you, Taurus, there's something that you're curious about that you want to go deeper into. And in order to do that, you might have to like go into the structure of it. You know, it's kind of like if you want to try on a different flavor of paganism, or you want to try Tibetan Buddhism, or you want to try, you know, witchcraft, or you want to try whatever. I always say, throw yourself into it. Give yourself to the system 100%. And if you do that, then, you know, once you learn if that is your system and that is your path, you're going to stick with it. If it's not, you're going to keep the essence of it and the window dressing will fall away. So, looking at curiosity, taking a new view, and also looking at where you need to just kind of follow the rules. Taurus. Okay, so this is kind of like staying within bounds with your curiosity as well. But certainly there's a lot to like spark your imagination, but it's going to call you to look at something from a bit of a different perspective. Boy, I'm feeling like frontal lobe fog. All right, Gemini. Curiosity. Okay, you too, Gemini, a natural card for you. Yeah, Gemini's always waiting for more information. Oh, yeah, really? Well, what else, you know? Strength. And the Page of Pumpkins. All right. Hold on one second. I knew I was going to get to this point tonight, because I've got a candle burning in front of me. And I've got the candles burning on my altar, and now I'm roasting. So I have to open the window. Okay. So you too, Gemini, curiosity is your strength. Just your ability to soak up the facts and soak up information, soak up the data is unparalleled. Page of Pumpkins talks about a class or something that you do at a structured level, a structured and practical level, being a student. This is like really parallel to the Hierophant here. The Hierophant, though, was more of on a spiritual level, talking about spiritual structure. This is talking about in practical terms. So this is how you mirror each other, Taurus and Gemini. Taurus, it was about taking a different spiritual perspective, curiosity about spiritual things, or even applying a new spiritual perspective to your own life in a more structured way with the Hierophant, devotional way. Gemini, yours is all about the practicality of it. And the Strength card here can just be reminding you that you can get through it. Sometimes Gemini needs variety to the extent that they just feel like they can't see something through to the end. You know, it can seem like a long haul. But I'm here to tell you, you can do it, Gemini. Hold on. Sorry, you guys. Getting kind of dizzy. I'm going to have a little bit of sugar here. Hold on. It's low pressure. I feel like the top of my head is All right. So, Gemini, this talks about actually taming your curiosity. I'm going to try so hard not to spit sugar all over the cards. Hold up. All right. That should help. Anyway, time for you to kind of tame your curiosity a little bit and structure it down to something that is achievable. That's the message for you, Gemini. So curious that it just runs rampant. Look at how you can tame it down a little bit, focus, narrow your view, and do something with that curiosity that actually gets you somewhere measurable. This is like a class, studying something, new skills, new something, practical, measurable. Okay? Simple, Gemini. You didn't get all these big, heavy things about it. You know what? Fuck you, Gemini. I'm kidding, of course. I am kidding, of course. But how do you get off so easy? Anyway. Cancer. Coercion. Ereshkigal. Okay. Those just like fell out. Yeah, we're going to do this. All right. The Chariot. The Knight of Ghosts and the Chariot. All right. And thank you, Halloween Tarot, for being so kind and dishing us up like a major, I think, with every single spread so far, I think. Anyway. Okay. The subject for you, Cancer, is coercion. How do you get what you want? Do you ask? Do you manipulate? Knight of Ghosts talks about an emotional offer. So it's talking about the like emotional coercion. How you kind of go about this. You do the crab walk. Instead of coming directly out and saying, can I ask you for something? Can you do that for me? Instead it's, no, nothing's wrong. So how do you kind of emotionally manipulate for what you want? Okay, the Chariot says, time to get in the driver's seat. The Chariot says, time to be much more direct in your approach. We all have emotional needs, and you deserve to get yours met just like everybody else. But look at how you have learned to manipulate in order to get your needs met. Pull this over a little bit. So this is something else that trauma can teach us. Is we can grow up in a, like the little crabs. We can grow up in a terribly codependent household where you're not allowed to express a need. You're not allowed to directly have needs, or somebody gets pissed off. So it really is time to look at how you learned to get what you need. And if you're doing that in an effective manner, because Knight of Ghosts says it's okay to just offer to present those needs to someone appropriate, someone you're in a relationship with, someone in your family. It's entirely appropriate to go and say, hey, I'm feeling this and I have this need, and express them. So the Chariot says, get on it this week. Get on having that emotional talk that you've been avoiding, that you've been kind of coercing people about rather than sitting down and let's just talk this out. Okay? So Crab, Instead of, it's time to get in and go, you know, straightforward. Straightforward rather than to the side. That's the message I have for you. Wrong deck. Oh dear. All right. Leo. The Morrigan sovereignty. I am telling you, these dark goddesses have been on the fucking money tonight, have they not? Appearance for Libra, obsession for Scorpio, destruction for Capricorn. Holy shit, they've just been amazing. They have been amazing. Abuse for Sagittarius. Oh dear. All righty. All right, Leo. What do we need to know about sovereignty? The Queen of Imps, well, and the Ten of Ghosts. I think this is the first one without a major. Okay. So the Queen of Wands talks about creativity and really investing emotionally in creative things. The Ten of Ghosts is the happy family card. So, okay, for you, Leo, this week, looking at being the queen of your castle, the empress of your domain. You are the one that makes everybody happy. And, you know, that creates the happiness around you. And the queen just talks about how you go about that, your creative process. Look at her looking towards sovereignty here. So, what you need to deal with, Leo, is this idea that it's all on you. It's always so fun to sit here and lecture myself. So fun. And I'm not going to hide. I'm going to tell you guys, I'm fucking lecturing myself here. You have this idea, because you are really good at organizing and taking care of things. But if you don't want it all to be on you, then you need to let some other people do some things, and you need to show them how to do those things. Right? And then you need to expect them to do those things. So the Queen of Imps here is about showing somebody the way, showing them, here's how we do this. Here's how we create happiness. Will you do this with me, please? Will you partner with me? Yes, I am the queen. You want to learn from the best? Partner with me. So this can talk about, you know, your kids, teaching your kids how to do things like that, but it can also just talk about taking the crown off your head and maybe handing it to somebody else for a while this week. Telling someone else, here's what I need you to do in this plan. So it's not all on me. And still, that still puts you in the driver's seat of, you know, I'm going to ask that these things be done. So you're still in that power position. You're still in that position of sovereignty. But I think that, and you know, it's also time to just really appreciate yourself for what you do, for what you manage to do. Because look, Queen of Imps is about just creativity, the joy of creativity. And the Ten of Ghosts is the happy family card. Look at everybody enjoying trick-or-treating and the lanterns in the sky and decorating for Halloween and doing wonderful meals and going, yeah, baby, I did that, you know? So, take pleasure in the things that you do, in the skills that you have in orchestrating and running things, Queen Leo. But also look at where you might be bitching, that it's all on you. And that is up to you to change as well. All right? If you just choose to do it yourself because it's just going to be better that way, if I want it done right, I'll do it myself, then you lose the right to bitch. So that's where we have to bring things into balance here, Leo, is do you let other people help? How well do you let other people help? And, you know, if things are out of whack there, then it's time for you to start sharing some of the load. Okay? Virgo. This is our last one. Curiosity for the third time. So we've had two themes, curiosity and the King of Imps, or King of Bats, King of Swords. Oops, hold on. Somebody fell. Somebody else fell. Hold up. Trying not to roll over the card. Trying not to put my bag out. Oh my God. Oh, I got an adjustment though. Bonus. Okay, so the ones that fell out on the floor, I think these are the only ones. Hold on. Yep, those are the only ones. All right. Curiosity, and we have the Magician and the Nine of Pumpkins. All right. So for you, Virgo, it's about curiosity, about magic, and what it is possible for you to manifest for yourself. Is it really possible to manifest the things that you want for yourself? Nine of Pumpkins talks about solitary wealth. It talks about your ability to take care of just yourself, by yourself, for yourself, your ability to make a living and support yourself in that way. It also talks about having a space within a family, within a relationship that is just yours, making sure each person has their own fortress of solitude, as it were, to take care of themselves. Let me bring these together. Okay, so Virgo, this week, approaching Samhain, it's time to really look at the whole subject of magic and what really is possible. Is it real? Yeah, it is. Can I really make these things just kind of manifest out of the blue? Yeah, you can. Okay? But you have to follow the rules, dedicate yourself to it, and you've got to believe. You've got to trust. You've got to have faith. Magic doesn't work unless you fucking believe in it. It's true. So your natural curiosity, Virgo, you know, you as the analyst are always curious as how does that work? How's that put together? Really? How does it work? So looking at how magic works, I'll tell you how it works. Magic works here. Magic works in restructuring your belief system. Because when you're doing magic, you have to step out of disbelief. Step out of any idea of, you know, that's not true. It's kind of like if you go to the movies and you spend the whole time going, that's not real. That didn't really happen. Come on now, you're at the movies. Suspend your disbelief, and then you can be in that haunted house and get the shit scared out of you, right? Or you can be sobbing over a movie. So magic is the same. It's about suspending your disbelief so that you can step into this place in faith. It all has to do with where things get into your brain, right? Because belief is the bedrock of our reality. And what we think, what we consciously say we think, can be in direct conflict with what we actually believe. And until we get to those beliefs and know what they are, that's what's going to be driving the boat. Always. It's the unconscious and the subconscious that runs the show. So this is talking about getting curious enough, Virgo, to look at how magic works and give things a bit of a try. How does this work? Well, it restructures the belief system, and when you believe in something, and when you have this image of it that is deeply embedded in your unconscious, in your subconscious, which is magic when we do transate stuff, and we do visualization, and we do guided imagery, and we do shamanic drumming and moving while we're holding this vision, we raise energy, and we send that vision off. We're restructuring things in here. We are building neural pathways and synapses are firing. There's little thunderstorms going off in our brain as we're restructuring what we believe. And when we effectively do that, our entire approach to life changes. Our perception of life changes. And our subconscious mind will take us directly to the thing that we say we want once it's installed in the belief system. That's how magic works. So get your curiosity working for you, Virgo. Give it a shake at Samhain time. Let it prove itself to you. That's my invitation to you. All right, my friends. I am not going to do a reading for the collective tonight because I am getting this kind of weird dizziness from the low pressure. So I think I'm going to wrap it up. I really appreciate you hanging out with me. Yes, I do. There are links down below. If you really, really appreciate what I do for you here, there are a couple different ways to send me a donation any size that you want. Or if you want to do something regular, you could subscribe to my Patreon. It's only $3 a month. And I bless you and thank you for every single thing you do for me. Nothing is too small. I'm serious about that. And then also, if you would like to contribute to my growing deck collection, I think I'm at 278 now, there's an Amazon wish list below. Lots of decks. Decks getting added virtually every day. And you can send me a deck and I will do a reading for you on my unboxing for that deck, which I think is a hell of a deal. All right, what is going on up in here? Wait a minute. All right, whatever. Felt like there was something under the fabric. At any rate, thanks again for being here. I hope that you have a great weekend, great rest of your week. I have noticed that my something is funky with my microphone. The reason that you guys weren't hearing me too well is one of the sides of my microphone isn't working as well as the other. I don't know how to fix this. I've tried things and it's not working. So I hope the sound was good tonight. Forgot to kind of check on that, but you guys would have let me know if it was awful. So, all right. Thank you so much, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. Until I see you next time, this is Luna. I love you. Blessed be.